There you go.
Maybe move that over there.
Oh. Hey. Istongo jokayadega. Or istongo jokayadega. Istongon. Agifetska na isti sulidawa niktades. Oja dongon chifabotanga. How did y'all get through the holiday? Remember soldiers and loved ones? I hope y'all had a good one. So, we don't decorate our graves. My mom, this is the Muskogee thing, and I still what my mom shared with me, and I still go by that. She used to say only death comes one time, and she says everything goes one time. You put flowers on it after the death, you put the house on it after the death, you don't do it again. So we don't never decorate our graves or anything. We kind of just leave it alone, just to sit there, and we don't ever go back and do it again. So we never go to our graves or anything, so. And a lot of people says they fix up the little houses. We don't fix up ours, they just tear down. We don't ever fix it over, because my mom used to say one time. And so that's what I go by. And like I told y'all, I still live by what I was taught, and of course I just never go against it, because she always told me, she always said, don't test it. She says, don't test the old ways. Don't test the old ways. And so I was too scared to ever test anything like that. Anything that she told me, I was afraid, because I know there could have been a consequence. I don't know. She didn't say why. She just said, and she wouldn't let us take pictures. She say, she said once the casket closes, she wouldn't let us take pictures. A lot of people do, but she used to tell us don't take a picture, because once that casket closes, you're not to see them until later. You're not supposed to take pictures. So I never did take pictures. Now my husband's family, his sisters do. They take all kinds of pictures, but I don't, because that's what they used to tell us, and so I never, and some people, one guy told me that they didn't look at the person's picture for a year after they died. Even a live picture, they didn't look at it for a year after. And so everybody's got their own ways, but that's what my mom used to tell me, and I just don't do it. She used to tell me, don't test anything. She says, Nagi, maho gadida, Nagi, do we don't do it, maho gadidu is maggot. She'd say, the elders said not to do it. And maybe something did happen when they did, and they were told not to. So I was told all this stuff, and so I just we don't actually celebrate Memorial Day. We just kind of, now yesterday my girls come over, so we kind of put some hamburger meat together and had a unplanned. We had a grill and we ate, and that was all we did, and through the week we kind of just fixed I was trying to fix my house up that I had, that needed to be done, or never had time to do it, and I did that. And my husband worked out in the yard, and we just kind of did that. But rest, I didn't. I hope everybody had a good Memorial weekend, though. We're going back to this now, because this is some words. Gulgi gulichit. Gulichit. Look at that. Gulgi is light, but it says gulichit. To me, that's saying like, and I never thought of this. I always said this, gogi golichidos, yumuchkidos. Turn on the light first. Golgi is light, but golichit means turn it on. Dos means do that first before, because it's dark. Yumuchkidos, remember yumuchki means dark. Golgi golichas, yumuchkidos, look how you can say that. Golgi golichas, that's a command right there. This is right here is like just giving advice. Turn on the light first, it's dark. But here it's given a command. Golgi golichas, yumuchkidos. See how, but it's saying the same thing, isn't it? It's saying the same thing. Turn on the light first, it's dark. Turn on the light, it's dark. It's actually telling you turn on the light. Every bit of it is saying turn on the light. Somebody, Lahoma said that they had some family gathering and sang some Creek hymns. You know what? I never thought of that doing that. See, that's a good idea right there, is singing Creek hymns. That's an idea for everybody. Just get together and sing Creek hymns, whether it's family or somebody comes by. You know, that's a good idea right there. That very good, Lahoma. That's what, you know, I never even thought of doing that. Aleket, Lupki Nigiyas. Lupki means hurry. Aleket is get up. Lupki Nigiyas. Lupki means move fast. Lupki means fast. Move around fast. Nigiyas, but look here. I want to share something with you. Nigiyas means move around. Move around. But aguigas means move over or move out of the way. Aguigas. Did you see that, Ella? Do y'all get that? Nigiyas means like jump fast, move fast. But when you say aguigas means move out of something's way. Does that make sense to you? And I'm going to go over these and I'm going to make those. Because look at this one sentence. Look at these sentences. This can be done in so many ways, and different words comes in. Okay, so if I told my little grandson, "Lucky Nigias," or I can say move over. Aguigas, move. Aguigas means move out of something's way. Like if he was standing my way and I said, Aguigas, that means I'm telling him to move away, move, move, I'm coming. Does that make sense to you? Okay.
Mvhayv,
Uh-huh.
there's a word in Spanish called permiso, which is like get out of the way. It's somebody respectful's coming through.
Yeah.
Like an elder's coming through, like move out of the way. It's kind of like that. Is this word like that?
Yes,
where it's about
aguigas.
Aguigas.
That's like a car's coming, aguigas. It's like a car's backing out, move, aguigas telling the child, aguigas, that's that same, but it's used in a different way. And I was going over these sentences and I thought, you know what? There's more to this, how it can be used. Nigias means move around, but just to move is aguigas. Anybody have any questions on that?
Mvhayv, how do you spell that?
Aguigas?
Yeah, yes.
Aguigas. You write it down. Okay, would be B-K-U-E-K-B-S, aguigas. Aguigas. And that means like move out of the way. Okay. But nigias means move around. So see, there's different ways, and it looks the same, but basically almost means the same, but yet in a different way. We use it in a different way. Okay. Oa ajahnet aklobas. Oa is water. Ajahnet, pour it in. See that ET in there means it poured in, ajahnet. But in what? Aklobas. Aklobas means take a bath. That's a command. So when that comes in,
You or me?
be okay. Anything with a command ends with BS.
I just want to make sure.
So anytime, so this right here tells you poured in a bathtub, ain't it? That's where you have to look at this. But you know, you're telling them it tells us, it tells you what to do right then. And some, you know, especially for new speakers, they say poured in what? Oculobus means take a bath. So automatically that gives you that hint. You poured in a bathtub or a tub back then. For me, it was a tub back then. Take a shower. Oa iokalas. Iokalas means pour it on yourself. Like you take a bucket of water and just pour it on yourself. Iokalas. Okay, so that means oa iokalas, take a shower. You know, and that's where when you say iokalas, that's where situation environment comes in. Okay. What is this? We just move out of the way, right? We just move out of the way. That's what that is. But Jay, so you say oa iokalas. Pour it on yourself. And that's where situation comes in. Sometimes it could, you know, chili okalas, pour it on your feet. You can say okalas instead of iokalas. Iokalas means pour it on yourself, but okalas means pour it on something, on your feet or something. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna go back through these because this sentence is weak. Look at this sentence. Look how many ways we can do this. So I'm not done with this yet. It's not done yet. Okay. Iokalas means pour it on yourself. But okalas means pour it on something. And there's more words that goes with that too. Okay. Achegi hoboyas. That's a command because of that see at the end of that. Hoboyas. Look for your clothes. That's like me saying, look for your clothes. That's like I'm going to Desiree and I say, Achegi hoboyas. Look for your clothes. Look for your clothes. That's a command. Put them on. Achas. And this can mean anything. Anything on your body. Gaba achas. Yokoskida achas. Put on your shirt, put on your coat. Gaba's coat. Put on your coat. Put it on. Istili sahojechka lapkin adihas. Look at there. Istili sahojechka is socks. And that's hard to pronounce. I had a hard time saying that when I was younger. I could never say that. Istili sahojechka. Istili is somebody's foot because is short for isti and li is istili. Saying a person's legs. Istili. Sahojechka. Lapkin adihas. Lapkin means hurry. Adihas, put them on. Put them on. Istili, but look here. Put on is there. Lapkin is hurry. We don't have and because that doesn't need it. Istili sahojechka lapkin adihas. But in English, we have to say, hurry and put your shoes on. We can't say, hurry, put your shoes. Yeah, well, I guess we could, hurry, put your shoes on. But the right way would be hurry. And. Istilibegada. Now look at this, and this is interesting. Da is how about. Istilibega. Remember now that istilibega is a descriptive word. Istilibega means that goes, bega means put in something. So you're saying person's foot that goes into something. It's descriptive. Istilibega. And da is what about. That's a weird thing. That da is how about. How about? How about? Just that two-letter word or sound, da, means how about. You say mother, how about that? Borjida, how about the cat? Ifada, how about the dog? Bibida, how about the baby? Like Jumbada, how about the cake? All this is that duh. And you know, that's weird when you say, how about your shoes? All we say is istilibegada. See, where sounds. This is where I stress sounds. They're words. They're communicated. It's a communicated thing, just these sounds. If you broke istilibega up, you go istilibega. Us. That sounds. You've had every one of those in previous lessons. Study sounds. I'm still stressing. Study sounds. That's where enunciation or announcing and the Creek language comes from. The Muscogee language. It comes from that. We may not grunt and do all this like animals, and you've seen the prehistoric cavemen. But you know what? That might have meant then we don't do that, but we still use sounds. Joga adiloyas. Joga is paper. Adiloyas means gather up. But here it's saying gather your papers up, because that's how you would say, or pick up your papers. Gather your papers up. Here, all we have to say is joga adiloyas. Paper, gather. Paper, gather. Put it in your bag first. Okay, here we go. There we go with that first. Put it in your bag first. Sokcha adihit. Adihidos. Adihidos. Dos is what? Do it first. Sokcha adihidos. And see, put it in your bag first is 1, 2, 4, 6 letters, but here it's just 3 words, and that says it all. Sokcha adihidos. Put it in first. Sokcha is bag, adihit means put it in. Do it. Put first. How about your purse? Don't not put it up. Here you go. How about? Dognaw is short for dognawa. Dognawa. We guess we could say dognawa hoodie. And hoodie is a shelter. But we shorten it up. We say dognaw hoodie because that's how we speak. That's how we speak. Now I'm teaching you how we speak, okay? Not how it should, and anybody would understand you if you say, don't not put it up. Money, shelter, how about? But here would be, how about your purse, or how about your billfold? Even a billfold. Anything that shelters money is don't not put it. Okay. Grab the keys, get the keys. Grab the keys. But look here, sawichka jawas. Jawas means take it or grab it. Jawas. And on English, we have to say, grab the keys, get the keys. Here we just say sawichka jawas. It's a command. Jawas means grab it, get it. And now I say, when one time we had an emergency and one of the kids cut their foot or their hand or something, and we was running out the door to take him to the doctor, and no one had the keys. And my mom goes, "So we could go." She had said that going out the door, but who paid attention to her? We all got in the car and just sat there asking who's got the keys. And mom was mad, when did you get there? So we could go us. So here we go, running back in the house, And it wasn't funny at the time, it was intense, but when you think about this, way back, it's like, we all just got in the car and just sit there. Wondering if we had-
I have a funny story to tell too when it comes to keys. Of course, I didn't ask and creep, but you know how we were accustomed to having our folks at home with us after they passed, but then nowadays that doesn't happen very often. So for my brother, we were there as late as we could be at the funeral home. And I was like one of the last ones out, and I couldn't find my keys. And what I did was immediately run into the room where he was, and I said his name, and I said, "Have you seen my keys?" As if he, as
Now
if,
I can answer you, yeah.
yes. Now that was funny. And
Well,
I did laugh.
well,
But it's like he was there with me, and I expected an answer.
we believe as Tajati people that they're there. And my mom used to tell me, on the fourth day they leave. But she says they're around, And to me, the way I saw well, especially my family, or even other people, they don't die. They're still around, and I told you that here about 2 weeks ago, I saw my mother standing. I was cooking, and I don't know what made me turn around. I turned around, and she was between my den and my living room, just standing there looking at me. And I turned around, I said, "Yes, Mom, I'm cooking." I talked to her too, and she's been long gone, and I said, "Yes, Mom, I'm cooking," because she always told me, "Cook for your family." So when I seen her, and it was just like, it looked like forever, but then it was just a glance, I just seen her and she was gone. And I'm like, "Yes, Mom, I'm cooking," kind of like you did. Talk to her, And then I think it was Saturday. We worked all day in the yard, and we got up. I never can sleep in, for one thing. I never sleep in on my days off. I have to get up same time I get up when I'm going to work. I woke up, and I didn't want to wake up my husband, so he was over there, but he was awake too. He just had his eyes closed, and I was moving real quiet. And he goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm awake." And I said, moving real quiet, Anyway, we got up, we started working around, We started working, we was cleaning up the yard, we was cutting the grass, we was and I was in the house. I'd come back in the house, and I would fix up my dish towels, fixed up my shelves, fixed up my everything that was out of order in the past year. And he said, "Let's just go grab something to eat. Let's go to Brahms in Eufaula." So we was going, and right before we left, and it was probably 5 o'clock before we got out of the house. Well, what we did was I took a nap, and I woke up, and it was at 5, and I looked over, and my husband was laying crossways across the bed, and he woke up. He said, "Let's just go get something to eat." So we were going to Eufaula, and we got into the living room, and we heard and we go through my den door. There's a door in the back. That's where we use. We never hardly ever use that front door. We use that back door all the time. We went out that, we was gonna go out that back door, and we stood right where I saw my mother between the kitchen, the den, and the living room. And we heard that back door shut. And I said, "What was that?" And I knew what it was, but I had to ask him. He goes, I said, what was that? He goes, that door. He goes, I think somebody came in while we're leaving out. I said, well, they can stay here, we're gonna leave. And I said, y'all's welcome to anything, you know, just make yourself at home, but I gotta go get something to eat. And you know, I don't know who, but I could hear that door shut. And I was like, and he looked at me and I said, what was that? He goes, that door shut. He goes, somebody's coming in while we're leaving out. And then last night, my daughter was over there, like I said, we kind of just, they just started showing up, so my husband was grilling hamburgers and we just, whoever came over, you know, was welcome to eat, so we was just sitting there and I was telling my daughter, my middle daughter, I said, you know, I saw grandma here a couple of weeks ago or a week and a half ago. And then I said, yeah, a Saturday, I said, we took a nap, resting up after all that work, and I said, then we woke up and was going out, and I said, I heard that door shut. And then she tells me, she goes, you know, grandma comes around about this time. She's talking about my mom. She said, grandma usually comes around about this time. I don't know why. And just went on about her business. And I'm like, so tell me more, you know, what's this thing? But she didn't. She just said, you know, grandma comes around about this time and just ended it right there. And I'm like, okay, so no more to it. Okay, grab the keys, so we can do us. And like she said, I talked to him, you know. Adami thuk chungas. Okay, thuk means go. But ajungas is the base word. Ajungida is the infinitive word, infinitive verb to climb. Thuk means go in. So we'll say Thokchungas instead of Okchungas. Okchungas is on top, remember, on top of something. Thokchungas means get in. Okay, and I'm going to explain on this because this is not done by a long shot, people. By a long shot. Climb in a car or get in a car, because see, climb, ajungida, is the infinitive verb for chungas. Okay. Automy allegy, just start the car. And this automy is car and it's Creeklish. It's Creeklish. Because we say auto, we say automy. Now listen, auto for English, automy. Automy. We say automy. Allegy just could mean start anything. Yagabat allergy, just you can say start walking. Hombida hayida allergy, just to cook the food, start it, but it also means start the car. It's, you know, this more way, you know, I hope y'all's getting all this, you know, the way you can use this, the way it can be used. You can say hombida haga allergy, just hombida, or balagna okosida, wash the plates. Allergy, just start washing plates. And you know, way back when we was at the ceremonial grounds, you know, we didn't use paper plates or foam plates or stuff. We used real dishes. And I mean, when it was hot, those dishes were coming back there, and I was the dishwasher back then because I was young. And I mean, they were bringing them back there, and boy, I was washing them up, rinsing them, drying them, giving it back to them, and it'd come back again already. It was like a never ending thing, you know, because we had to use real plates then. They didn't have these. Boy, it was, you know, it was something when the paper plates and foam plates came out. Man, that was like, oh, we don't have to heat up dishwater because see, we didn't have no hot water tanks. This was at the camp now. And, you know, we didn't have hot water tanks. We had to heat up the water on this, the open fire. And then in dishwater, and we had these old metal dish pans that we used, you know, and we had to set it there and wash them, rinse them, dry them, and hand it back, and it'd come back again. I don't know how many dishes we washed. And it'd say, and you know, paper plates and foam plates saves a lot of time when you're in that, especially when the sun's coming down about 100 degrees, you know, during green corn. Okay. So allergies, you can say start cooking, start walking, start running, you know, whatever, you know. Just start it, but you can also use it for start the car. Ayas, go. Ayas. Adopkida full thought. This is get into work. Adopkida is work. Full thought. Get in there. Get into work. Adopkida foste. Okay, look here. Full thought. Foste. Full thought is when you get to work. Foste. When you're there. When you're there. When you arrive. Adopkida foste. Foste. Adame dagletset. Dagletset means to set something down, but here it says set the car or park the car. That means both things. Because we come in and we set the car down. That's a weird name. And you know what? Allergies means, yeah, that's the same thing. Now we begin means like somebody comes over and you've already started eating, we'll say, hombas hade allergies to me. You know, or you could say, allergies to me. Yeah, you can. Good job, girl. Good job. Okay. Okay, we don't have clock in. It means announce yourself. Announce yourself. We just have to announce ourselves to the clock, and if that means punching in, we do, ain't it? When we punch in, we're saying, I'm here, you know, that's announcing yourself. I'm here to the clock. You're announcing yourself to the clock. That was a doozy right there. Okay. And work and work and work. And this is just kind of a humorous thing. You know, they used to say, I don't get. It's kind of humorous, but you can just say, I don't get working, you know. But that was just a humorous thing that they did back then. Joga hold change it. Joga's paper writing it. Hold change it, see? Hold change it is the infinitive word for hold change it. Hold change it means to write. Remember, infinitive verb always begins with to do something. So to write, right here, hold sets it, write it, writing it, joga, writing paper, writing it. Muskogi bunaga mahayat. Okay, that's what I'm doing right now, teaching the language. Muskogi bunaga is language mahayat. Teach it. Teach it. That it's on there, so I'm teaching it. Any questions so far? We're not going to go too fast on this. We're going to go back, and I got more. I got breakfast sentences, but we're going to take this slow. Sidin bonahoga ayaboske. Sidin bonahoga is a phone. Ayaboske means to answer. Answer the phone. It don't say, we don't have the, but it's got Sidin bonahoga. Sidin means two people. Bonahoga, that means two people that talks to each other. And ayaboske means answering somebody. Answering somebody. Ayaboske. Ayaboskida is to answer. The infinitive verb to answer. Ayaboske means answering. English to Muskogee. Istiheti bonaga, which is istiheti. And you know, we don't have a better way of saying English. It's just saying a white person's, isti heti. Isti is person. Heti means white. Unaga is white person's language. Duwalabijejit. Duwalabijejit means crossing it over, English to Muskogee. And that means duwalabijejit, going over, crossing it, duwalabijejit. But now listen, duwilipka is the cross. Duwilipka is the cross.
Mvhayv, Margitsat, Stihet ke Margitsat, Anbidagidat, Estilasti, I mean, again, descriptive words.
Yeah.
We're just describing them. And they were thinking that I was being racist by saying it like that. And I said, no. I said, I'm just saying that because that's how we always refer to them. And so unless there's a better word, I said, we don't have one. And so that's why we say, stiheki, stilasti, stijadi. I mean, we're even describing ourselves that way. And because amozostage hokolet, stilasti, sabagidon, dumozat, sabagidon, moesman, I love them just like I love the rest of them, and they're my grandkids. And so it was kind of hard for Anjibana, my heathen, and get to go die, I guess so on. He just kept thinking that I didn't like him because he was, part black. And I said, but it's the way we describe people.
Yeah. We didn't have no other way because actually they were, we never saw them. And we had to describe them,
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing to do with races, it has to do with, we didn't know any other way to describe them. That's the only way we did.
Mvhayv,
Uh-huh.
I've been accused like Ella of being racist when, even though I'm not a first language speaker, being raised with two people and others that were first language speakers, like you said, have said, Mvhayv, it's understood.
Yeah.
We understand it, how they're describing things to us, and we pick that up, and we don't see anything wrong with it until somebody calls us out.
Yeah.
And
We
I've
don't-
been called out many times because I'm describing just what I see.
Yeah.
Not doing anything racist by it.
There's nothing, I don't think we were ever racist to begin with, our nature wasn't. See, that takes intelligence right there. She said it takes intelligence. They had to constantly having translate the Creek language to English and English into Creek. That, I found this out. Like I said, I've done a lot of, you have to know a certain amount of English to translate Muskogee or translate English to Muskogee. Because we got, if you think about it, we have past, present, future verbs. We got a lot of verbs, but it's past, present, future. We have, and it takes a lot, like was, where, which, was, where. That's what we studied in school. Was, were, am, all that. And you have to know that in order to get it in the right content in writing. And sometimes it don't make sense in English too.
That's true. Mvhayv, talking about people being nasty and judging somebody's heart. based on not understanding the language. My observation, such as that work that is worth of Muskogee Bonaga, is that it in native languages as a whole, the words are descriptive. That's
Yeah.
how the words are made. It's
Yeah.
not, it's different than other languages
Yes,
that
it
is by definition what the language is. And that's where people don't understand and don't take the time to look at somebody's heart.
Exactly, exactly. You know, exactly. Exactly. That's, you know, it has nothing to do with, you know, it's a person. It's a person and they're people to us. You know, it's just that we have to say it in that way, you know. Okay. Isti hati bonaga dowala bijeze. Dowala bijeze means cross it over, you know, crossing it over, because dowilipka is a cross now, like a cross, like in Christ, dowilipka. So when we say we crossed it over, we're crossing it over to that. It's just another form. Muskogee bonaga duit magida demonayet. Demonayet. Okay, now look here. This is a whole different how to say a word in Muskogee. This is actually saying how to say, okay, this is Muskogee bonaga language. Duit. How magida to say, telling people. That's exactly how this is, but you can say how to say a word in Muskogee. See that difference there? Can y'all see that? Okay, look here. This is Muskogee Bonaga, is Muskogee language. Dewey, how? Magida to say, Demonaya, telling. But in English, it's how to say a word in Muskogee or how to say the language in Muskogee. But this one is language, how to say, telling. See, this language is that's why this language is so interesting to me. And this is why I did a lot of, it don't exactly translate to what it's saying, but right here, that's how to say a word in Muskogee.
It's almost like a dot to dot.
Yeah,
Start here, go here, and then once you get all the way around, you figure out what they're trying to, what
yeah,
they're trying to say in English, but Muskogee, it's just not, you know, connected, but it's dot to dot.
dot the dot.
Yeah.
It's just something that, you know, and this is where my interest came in. I thought, how interesting. And I spoke it all my life, but you know, when I had to do this, it was like, wow, this takes explaining. And you better be, and there's some things I can't explain. I'll say, oh no. Why? You know, Fatchalegat homebit. Fatchalegat is noon. Homebit, eat it. But here in English, it means lunch break or eat lunch. Fatchalegat homebit, it actually saying noontime, eat it. Eat lunch. It doesn't exactly translate to what it's saying, but in our job area, it means eat lunch or lunch break. But if we say it's Fatchalegat homebit, they're saying take your lunch break. If somebody, a speaker, Fatchalegat, let's eat lunch. Or Fatchalegat, let's eat lunch. Because Fatchalegat means noontime, okay? Hadam adorkit, okay, start work again. But hadam means again, but adorkit, work again. And don't say start work here. See, but in English, we can't say work again. We have to put start in it. Oh boy. Okay, is everybody with me so far? Everybody? How this is going now? If y'all have to take notes, tell me to slow down. If y'all need to, tell me to shut up, slow down, okay? I don't mind that because I want you to learn. I want y'all to learn. Okay. Answer the telephone. There we go. A boca. Okay, answer. Hadam adorkit. I explained that. Hadam means again. Adorkit, work. It don't, it don't say the same work again. It don't say start anywhere. Because I could say Hadam adorkit alezitsit. See there? Alezitsit. There goes that word. Alezitsit. But I just said Hadam adorkit. Just as short and simple, short and sweet. Sidimbonahoga hoga ayuboske. Sidimbonahoga hoga is sin. Sidimbonahoga hoga. Si is the third person. Sidimbonahoga hoga. Second person, second and third person. So you're talking to other people. Sidimbonahoga hoga. Bonahoga hoga is like the infinitive verb is bonayida on that. Ayuboske means to answer. And it just says answer questions here. Answer telephone there. We didn't have telephones. Aboka ayuboske, answer questions. Aboka means questions, or it can say asking for something. Aboka. Ayuboske. Ayuboske means the same as right here. Ayuboske. Answer questions. Figabit means rest, actually. But here in our workforce, in the Muskogee language, it means rest. Rest. We don't have break. But if we just said rest, that means a fiesta to me, man. I'm so it can be mistaken in English. Hadam alezid. See, but here it says start over. It says right here, Hadam, again, start. You take a break, start over. But in English, we can't say again, start again. Especially we would have to say start over. This is where it gets kind of funny. We're always, Friday, boy, we'd go get off at 3:00, boy, everybody's watching that clock, boy. We was watching it. Egypt, looking at the clock. It can turn 5 o'clock. Run out. This is and this is humorous. We were very humorous. And we even said, they were just going so fast that they were kind of laying down and just come out of there. And we used to talk about, you heard that, Ella. He walked with it, these little songs, they went out just kind of laying down so fast, running so fast. And it's humorous. And it says, leak it or shit, run out. We ran out, that 3 o'clock. Boy, we were sitting there, everybody was watching that clock Friday, and I guarantee you, boy, when it was 5, everybody was kind of slowly gathering their stuff up. They had their purse sitting on the desk and their bag sitting up here. And I mean, they had their computers on, they were ready. And boy, when that clock hit 3, you should have seen us. And then we had a couple of people in there, and that our manager said, watch out. I told him, what's that on your feet is? And we couldn't wait to get out, We just could not wait to get out. And it was.
I was thinking about some of the elders who spoke a little bit of English. They spoke like that.
Yeah, they did.
So now it makes sense why they spoke like that.
Yeah, because it's broken. They speak broken English. Broken English, but
it was Muskogee.
Muskogee, yeah.
That makes sense because I remember hearing elders when I was little. And I was
Yeah.
like, and you knew what they were saying because you just filled in the blanks of
Yeah.
what English was.
My whole dad's family knew I spoke Creek. But one day I was, and this is a humorous story. I went to my aunt, my dad's sister's house, because every Mother's Day, every holiday, we gave her something, because, you know, she's the only one left on my dad's side. And anyway, I went to her house to deliver her gift, and I asked her husband, I said, and her name was Jimami. I said, Jimami Dolega. He said, he stood to us a little bit, and he goes, no, went to town. And I was like, okay. And you know, you could tell by his voice and the way he was, that he wasn't used to speaking. And I spoke to him in Muskogee. I don't know why. He spoke to me in English, and I told him I got in the car, and I told my mom, I said, I said, she was trying to speak to me in English. And I got tickled because he said, no, went to town. And here I asked him in Muskogee if she was living there, still, you know, there. And I was like, I don't know what he was
Maya. That word, Margaret's like Jimami. I haven't heard that in a long time. But it was a name that my grandma, she used to talk about somebody that had that name.
Her name was Bird.
Huh?
It's Jimami Bird or Jimami Francis.
Well, she must have been a relative then if she's a Francis, because that's what grandma used to say. And the one that I really knew was Annie Bird, and Charlie.
Yeah.
Those that lived in Hannah. Man gidos maga gido madis. And so anyway, when you were talking about rushing out of the building to go home, let's see if I can get my mouth to say it. Salot soget abinidos. Did I say that right?
Yeah, salot soget, just sliding out.
And to me, it sounds like they were slipping and sliding going out the door.
Couldn't wait, so they just slip and slid and around out the door. And that's kind of how we were, you know. And you know, that's sad. How we told that person, our visitor, watch out, they'll knock you. And they just kind of laughed, but you know, they knew what we were doing, you know. But you know, we were impressed. And that Jimami you're talking about, she was my dad's, I don't know, you might know him, Ella. My dad was Yadika Bird.
That's a name I've heard too. Yadika.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here this last weekend or so, there was a weekend before, they had a dinner for Eufaula Canadian, and of course he was part of that ground. So do you know, I don't know, a lot of you might know Joe Sulfur? Joe Sulfur Jr.? Okay. Yeah, Lahoma.
Oh, Joe Sulfur. I thought you said another name. Yeah. Well, get that doors.
Yeah, well, anyway, he had printed some old pictures off, and there was a picture of my dad and Turner Bear singing ribbon dance. They had put it in a paper, and he had made a copy, and he said, and I looked at that, you know, they were like old pictures, so I looked at it, and me and my husband was looking at him. I said, that's my daddy. You know, and he was 7 when I passed away. He would be in his late hundreds now, because I was 7 when he passed, and I'm 62 now. And, you know, I didn't get to, I remember his face. I remember how he dresses, but I can't remember his voice. Because I guess I had just I turned 7 in November, and he died December, just maybe 2 weeks after my birthday. But, you know, he was like 20 something years older than my mom. And mom, you know, and so, and this was in 1956 that picture was taken. And I was telling my husband, I said, look how old he is. And that was 4 years before I was born. I said, look how old he looks, you know, and he goes, wow.
And see, Hadam Mahaya, Mo just got Turner Bear Magasat Mo. See, these are names I've heard, you know, but these are all names I heard when I was little, you know, living out here. And so I might have seen them when we went back a couple of times, but I don't remember. And, but like the Sulphurs and like you said, Turner Bear and Annie Bird, and then you talked about Jemima. You know, that's what my grandma. Those are names that I used to hear, and like Ida Lewis.
Yeah.
You know, and so those are all. Bunahangi Madawaks, Magidon, Madish, you know, Jabuji.
Yeah. They were, and you know, they had a lot of little things going on there, and I picked up, and you know, Joe, he said, take it, it's your dad, you know, and I took it, and I was telling him, you know, my kids we got pictures of my dad, but I was showing them, you know, I said, this is your grandpa before even he was my dad. And they were like, oh wow, you know, and I was showing them because I want them to know. You know, even my grandkids, I showed them, I said, this is your great grandpa. You know, and I tell them my mom, great grandma. And they're like, how many grandmas is that? And I'm like, you know, me, you know, your great grandmother and your great grandmother, you know, and I'm gonna still look for those pictures. I had it on my mind. And I need to get down those pictures. I need to get in a box and look at that and show y'all my grandmother on my mom's side, my father. You know, I need to show y'all pictures, and y'all may even recognize some of you may even recognize them. Joga Sholgin, writing a lot of papers. Joga is paper. Sholgi. That means a lot of them. Writing a lot of paper. Teaching Muskogee language to non-speakers. Muskogee Bunaga Bunahu Yigat Mvhayv. See, this to me sounds kind of like I don't know. To me, it doesn't sound good. But in Muskogee, if I said Muskogee Bunaga Bunahu Yigat Mvhayv. Muskogee Bunaga's language, Bunahu Yigat, that doesn't speak, teaching them. But this is how it would have to be written. And to me, it doesn't sound good to me. But it doesn't sound bad here in Muskogee, but here it does. In English, it sounds totally bad to me. But in Muskogee, it doesn't, you know. That's like teaching somebody how to cook, you know. But I don't know how to cook. And that just don't sound good to me. Okay, I'm sitting here yawning and sleepy. Janochkilit, Janojayit Lake the West. Janochkilit means I got sleepy. Janojayit, yawning, I'm yawning. Lake the West. Lake is short for legida, to sit. But I'm saying Lake the West, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting. Jackie Battle Fish Cheese. Say it is 5 o'clock and see that exclamation mark. Jackie Battle Fish Cheese. Finally.
And that's when you slide out.
Yeah, that's gonna be slide out of here. You sure don't look it. Oh, look here. Light. Okay. Religious. Turn it on the light. Yomochki is dark. Dos, it is. Alegas, get up. And that can mean from sitting, laying down, you know, or even if you fall down. Alegas, you know. Quickly, Lupkin. Hurry, Lupkin, quickly. Nigias, move. See, here we go. It says move, but it actually means move around, okay? Because Aguigas is move. So if I had my grandson standing right here beside me, I say Aguigas, I would tell him to move out of the way. But Nigias means go move and do something, you know. Or Ajahnet.
Mvhayv, Mvhayv. On that one, again, isn't that like a situation? You were talking about him standing next to you and and then when you're talking to somebody about sitting on the couch or something like that, you're saying, "Oh, kuigas," you know. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I just thought about that when you said that, and I thought, okay, there's a way to say it when they're standing and a way to say it when they're sitting.
Situation changes that word. Boy, Yahitsa, Hasiskika, Hamgad, Huyanibidos. Huyani means ask. It's already 102. Boy, that went fast. That went fast. Oh, I know. Mano gets again. In Nafkaba, in Hayatka, the middle, morning of the middle. Chihitagate. Oh, I know, Manoga. Mano gets it. Ayibes.
Haram Jahidiyadi Soman.
Chihitates, Jimio. Chihitagate.
Chihita.
Yeah.
Well done, you too.
Muchie like a high five in Muskogee.